When I think about something I want and immediately jump to the fact that I don't have it yet, or asking questions about how on earth I will get it, I feed my mind instructions to look for everything that is aligned with the things I'm thinking. I ask my mind to give me proof that it's hard, to give me proof that it's 10 years away, to give me proof that I'm never gonna get it. I spent a lot of time thinking about things that I wanted, but I was thinking about it from a perspective of not having it, and from a perspective of measuring what I wanted with where I was in that moment, like we all often do. So if I thought about something I wanted, I thought about it in a way that made me very aware of the fact that I didn't have it yet. Like, I would love to have money because I would love not having to worry about paying bills, because I'm so sick of worrying about where to get the money from, etc., etc. So I started on a positive note, but then the more I thought about it, I just worked my way down the scale of how it felt to think about it. Every time I started thinking about things that I wanted, I just compared it to everything that I didn't have. So I thought about it in a not very good feeling way. And I will do that from time to time when I don't consciously notice the thoughts that I'm having. But the way I notice that is by noticing how it makes me feel. So I may not at first notice the thoughts running in the background, but I notice when I get this pit in my stomach, or when I just find myself in a lousy mood, right? Yeah, you agree, don't you, Lottie? So that's when I ask myself, what have I just been thinking about? And then I realize that, oh, I've been wondering how on earth I will get the money to do this and that, or what my next line of work will be and how I will get it. All of these normal things that we seem to be thinking so often about. But I don't want to think like that anymore, because it's not helping. It is not helping me get to the things that I want. It's not bringing me closer to what I want. It's actually putting more distance between what I want and where I am today. And it's making me feel bad as I go, right? So this is just an encouragement to take some time the coming days and notice when you think about stuff that you want, how you think about it. Do you think about it in a way that makes you feel good, or do you think about it in a way that makes you feel bad? Most of our thoughts just run in the background and we don't even notice them. So it's very likely that you will find what you thought were positive thoughts or productive thoughts are not. Honestly, this is not very productive. Can you sit your ass down, girl? Because we think that when thinking about something we don't have and wondering how we're gonna get it, that's sort of a productive way of thinking. Because that is how we solve problems. We think about the problems and then we try to find a solution to it. But we very seldom succeed in going about it that way, because you can't see a solution to a problem when you view it from the problem side of things. And it's the same about the things that we want. If we're actually going to get to the point where we achieve those things somewhere in the future, so much more of it is actually up to us than what we realize. We think that it's these set of external circumstances that have to line up for us to be able to get that or achieve that or whatever, and it's up to chance somehow. And the things that are not up to chance are up to us taking action, right? So this is regarding the taking action point. Because when we take action towards the things that we want from a feeling of lack or anxiety or lack of patience, we have sort of this desperate not having it kind of energy around it, and that will not put us in the most productive place to get it. Because what it does, when we think about the things we want from a lack perspective, it just keeps us further from it. Because we then, every time we have thoughts like that, we train our mind to see it as difficult, to see it as far away, to see it as up to chance or up to hard work. And then we might lose motivation as we go because of these thoughts. And mostly what it does is finding proof and examples that are aligned with what you're thinking. So if you think that you're not going to get it or it's going to be hard to get it, your mind won't spend its energy looking for the opposite, as in looking for proof and examples that it's easy to get it, or looking for the opportunities that might lead you to it. No, it won't, because you tell your mind what to look for. You tell your mind how to choose and how to use its focus by giving it or feeding it these thoughts you have about the things that you want. It works on your instructions. So you have to, if you actually want to experience or achieve these things, you need to change the instructions you give to your mind. When I think about something I want and immediately jump to the fact that I don't have it yet, or asking questions about how on earth I will get it, I feed my mind instructions to look for everything that is aligned with the things I'm thinking, to look for proof. I ask my mind to give me proof that it's hard, to give me proof that it's 10 years away, to give me proof that I'm never going to get it if I look at the probability, for example. So be mindful of your language, as in how you think about it, not what you think about, because you might be thinking about the things you want a lot, but how you think about it. And have some faith that if you choose to think about the things you want in a way that lines up with why you want it, think about the things you want and why you want them, not the things you want and how you're going to get them. Think about what kind of feelings will it give you when you have it? How will your life look when you have it? What will you be doing when you have the things you want? What are your surroundings like? And the reason we are so afraid to do that is because we are afraid to waste our time dreaming about things. We think that we need to be realistic and productive. And we do, but we have just misunderstood what being realistic and productive means in this way. Being productive and realistic in this way means understanding what you are training your mind to do for you by noticing the kind of thoughts you're having about it and then changing them. It's difficult to describe the effect that this will have because it's only something that you can actually know when you do it for yourself. But the better you start feeling about the things you want because of the way you change your thinking about the things you want, the more likely you are to actually get them. It's true. The more likely you are to actually get them in your life, because then you are feeding your mind instructions to look for possibilities, to notice anything that shows up that might bring you closer to it. But if you're not thinking about it in a way that feels good, you will just make it even harder to get there, because you will be wasting your time looking for stuff in alignment with what you don't want or where you are today. You will be looking for stuff that keeps you where you are today. But that's not where you want to be, is it? So try to notice whenever you feel bad feeling inside, just ask yourself what you were thinking about, especially when it comes to the things that you want. If you want money, ask yourself how you think about money. Do you think about the fact that you want them because you don't have it? Or do you think about money and the fact that you want it because of all the fun things you can do when you get it? You see the difference? You're thinking about the same thing, but in two entirely different ways. And you might be thinking right now, how the heck am I supposed to get more money by just daydreaming about spending money on a lot of fun stuff? But then you will just fall back into the old habit of thinking from a lack perspective, because it's not up to you. And you won't know just yet how you will get the money from that. But you have to trust that your mind will let you know, because your mind will focus on all of the opportunities to get more money. But the moment you start questioning how, you put your mind back in the same old patterns of looking for it being hard to get. So you won't get that answer right now, but that's the whole point. Don't look for the answer, just look for the feeling you want with it. Just look for what you want to do and what you want your life to look like when you have it. And then see what happens. Decide that you can trust your mind to feed it new instructions and let it lead you to it. One of the best ways to change the instructions you give your mind when thinking about the things you want is actually to actively daydream about it. Because when you daydream about something, you're not asking questions, you're not wondering, you're just living it as you're already having it. And that's a way of practicing getting closer to it, practicing having it, and training your mind to be there already. And I just made a video about daydreaming, so if you haven't seen it already, I will link it somewhere up here, because get to know the way you think about the things you want, first and foremost, so that you can change it around, and then when you're ready to change it around, go daydream on purpose. It will let your mind see that it's entirely possible to think about it in a whole new set of ways that feels much better and leads you closer to it, because you're practicing being in it. Every thought you ever have is your mind practicing. The question is, are you teaching your mind to practice getting the things you want, or are you teaching your mind to practice keeping you away from the things you want? It's gonna do one of them, so it's up to you which one it is. Thank you for listening.